we discovered a massive need for women to find an identity surrounding being a woman and an entrepreneur. I'm Marley.
And I'm Rachel. Women like us, women who are the primary earners in our families,
are searching for identity, community, visibility, permission.
A place to be heard and supported.
We are leading with our vulnerability to allow others to feel safe.
We are strong
and feminine. We are bread-winning women.
We are live together.
If you're watching this on Facebook, comment, say hello. We're together in the same country right now. This is so cool.
We're actually sharing a chair right now.
We're sharing a chair. I was just joking that like we're bosses, but we're not bosses enough apparently to have our separate chairs.
But that works. I mean, we're here. That's all that matters. So
collaboration, not competition.
I love it. We collaborate on one single chair. Anyways, yes. So good to see you guys. It's been an awesome week over here for both me and Marley. We've had a ton of fun. I hope you guys have been having a blast as well. I'm really excited to talk about today.
Me too.
Our topic.
Especially because I feel like I was just bossy a moment ago.
Oh, Marley, tell me about your bossy moment.
I don't want to sound like I'm complaining, but I was just trying to order food and there was a mix-up on their end and they didn't remedy it for me as a customer. And as a boss, I'm like, don't you understand the importance of customer service? Like, I understand the importance in as a business owner for profit, but like, I also understand that more than profit is also keeping your customers happy. So I held back from trying to like educate them, but I was just like, you know what? I would have really appreciated at least an apology and maybe a discount, but now I'm never going to use your services again. And it made me feel like I was like giving them a hard time, but I was also like, come on, business.
Right. Okay. So if you are watching this,
I know when I was typing that, I was like, I feel like they're going to think I'm being bossy right now, but I'm the boss.
What is the difference between being bossy and being a boss? Now, if you're watching this live with us, or if you're listening to the podcast, make sure to just take a mental note of this. Has anyone ever called you bossy? It's something, what? You? No.
Oh, in my email that I sent yesterday, I talked about on the playground that this was one I was called out for a lot. And instead of, sometimes when you're told you're being something, it actually makes you be it more, that you're like, I'm not bossy, listen to me. And like when you say that, you realize what just came out of your mouth. So my strategy would actually to go play alone and show people how much freaking fun I was having. So then they would just be envious and go, I want to play on that playground. And then I'd be like, oh, remember when you thought I was bossy?
No, I was just bossing it up over on this playground.
That's right.
Here.
You want to be part of this team.
Now, the funny thing is I've had a lot of people call me bossy in my lifetime. And, it's kind of funny because I'm not bossy. I can just see a better way. I know that sounds terrible, but a great example of this is actually from a couple weeks ago. Some of you guys saw that we actually created a 5-layer human pyramid. So there was 5 people across the bottom, then 4 people, then 3, then 2, then 1. And for some reason, the guys that were wanting to take control of the situation, they couldn't figure out how to create a 5-layer human pyramid. So of course you can imagine me sitting back and being like, okay, it took us
take control.
Right. It was like 45 minutes and I was watching it and I was like, okay, I'm just going to let them keep running their course. They could not figure it out for the lives of them.
I also just have such a short attention span that I'd be like, okay, just give it to me. Let me tell you what to do.
I can do this so much more efficiently. So as that was happening, I was like, this is really, really rough. And ultimately I was like, okay, guys, let's just take a second and listen to me because you guys aren't getting it. So 1 person goes there, 2 people go here, 3 go here, 4 go here. Everyone just needs to stand in the formation of a pyramid and then get down on their knees and then go the next layer goes ahead and hops on top. So it was really interesting because I let them go for about 45 minutes. And as I started to organize the group and get it actually going, the guys took back over control and it was failing. It was an epic fail. It was so funny to watch. But at the same time, I didn't want to speak too much because I didn't want anyone to say, why is she being so bossy about this?
You want to give them the opportunity that if you can lead them to water and then give them the opportunity to find the rest, of the water to drink. I think I just butchered that phrase.
You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink.
But what if you could like lead him to the stream and be like, there's more there if you just keep going?
You know, a really interesting thing to think about is what you actually did growing up, where you would go to the other playground and have a ton of fun and make other people realize that it's what they wanted. So what is the difference between bossy and being the boss? It's really interesting because boss is a word that obviously is similar to bossy, but at the same time, I kind of think that boss indicates leader. And leaders can inspire change and action without just telling people what to do.
And can inspire a vision that then the followers or the integrators or the people that are part of that identity can take on and move forward. That it doesn't have to be bossy, like I'm telling you what to do. It can be boss, like I'm inspiring a vision.
Absolutely. And one of the things that's really interesting is, you know, a lot of times I think young girls are called bossy at a very early age. I know like certain people in my family who are very young have been called very bossy, but the reality is they know how to lead people and how to inspire people to try something. And I still remember seeing, like, for example, Dakota, when she plays on the playground, she's got all the kids lined up from tallest to shortest, and she's organizing the game. And I know that there's probably that thought going through people's heads, she's bossy. And I'm like, I personally look at her and I'm like, that is a future CEO in the making. And it is so exciting to me. You know, that doesn't necessarily mean she's going to be managing people, because CEOs focus on the dream. But if you are watching and you've ever been called bossy, feel free to comment and share with us a little bit of your stories.
And it could be other things other than being called bossy. You could be called something else, like, what are some other things?
Controlling.
Micromanager. There's a lot of things that people might call you or say that is a flaw in you or something that might need to change. But instead of feeling like you're being rejected or put down by that, how can you reframe that and see that as, actually, I have a great quality here that maybe someone else is intimidated by. Maybe someone else is feeling upset about because there's a reflection in themselves that is being shown to them that they don't have that. They wish they had that. Maybe they have a prior experience that you're triggering for them, but that's not about you. So whether it's you or your children that are being told you're being a certain way, that doesn't mean there's anything wrong with it. That doesn't mean you should change it.
So one of the things I want to challenge everyone to recognize is sometimes the names that people call us are actually stemming from our greatest strengths. And we don't realize it, because you know how high school, junior high, all of those things teach us to want to fit in, to blend in. And I think about, like, you know, the negative comments you got on your report cards growing up, sometimes those end up being your greatest strengths. Like, you might not guess what mine is.
That you talk too much?
What? Yes. I got that I talk too much, too social, distraction in class. And guess what? All I do is social now. Like, I talk a lot.
Most likely to be the social butterfly.
Yep, pretty much.
Yep.
But those things that people have said, the words that people have used against you, are things that you can actually pick up and say, this is going to be my greatest strength. This is going to be an asset to me. And that's a huge realization.
I have been told a lot that I need to have thicker skin.
Ooh.
That was something from a very long time ago. And it was something that I struggled with a lot, to go like, oh, I have to have thicker skin. This hurt my feelings and I'm sensitive about this, and would think that I need to change who I am. But now that's something that I've totally let go of. And my sensitivity and my emotional IQ, my just emotion in general, is what allows me to do what makes me money, is what creates my impact and connects me to an audience and serves my clients in a way, because what I do is create emotional content and content that is thought leadership and creates influencers and celebrities online. So if I took that advice to, hey, have thicker skin, take a joke, don't be so sensitive, where would I be today? No, you know what? I like my sensitivity. I like that I don't want to say I have thin skin, but like now I know how to handle, you know, if something hurts my feelings or if something is sensitive to me. Because before, part of my problem was that I worried too much about what other people thought. And now it's just, well, what do I think and how does that make me feel? And I make decisions based on that. But that's so true, that something that you've been called could be your greatest strength.
So when we use the word bossy versus boss, is it bossy or is it boss? One of the things that I want you to think about is that the names that people call you are oftentimes, or the adjectives that people use in a negative way to describe you, are oftentimes the things that they wish that they had. I know a lot of times people will say like, oh, she's so over the top. And it's like, well, yeah, of course. Like, that's who I am. I like to be over the top. And the reality is there's a chance that that person thinks, I wish that I could step outside of my comfort zone.
Wish I was more outgoing. Yeah. So a lot of times, and this is something that I look at for anyone who might say something about me, or even for me to think something about someone else. If something bothers me, why is that? Is there something in them that's a reflection of me that I wish I had? Like, even if it's microscopic, I like to dissect that because that's a self-awareness thing for myself.
Absolutely. And I think it's a really great reflection on the process that you can have as you're, identifying other people's strengths and weaknesses. Is this truly a weakness, or is it something that they're not using to its fullest? Because I personally believe like we all have different skills, and we're either using them for great or we're just using them maybe not for great. So have you ever met someone who is maybe super, I'm trying to think of a bad characteristic, someone who was really irresponsible in that they love to party. Let's use that as an example. They love to party, and you're like, oh, they're so annoying. They love to party. When what they don't realize is that being the life of the party is actually a strength that they could be using when they're just skating by on the bare minimum with that life of the party mentality.
Yeah.
So I personally am very careful with the word bossy. I've used it in the past, and now that I've heard it, towards myself, I'm like, I don't really care for that word, except for the fact that it stems from the word boss. And I'm like, you know what? Absolutely. You better believe I'm the boss. There's a reason why I've been able to grow my business. There's a reason why I've been able to, have a team and everything. Doesn't mean I'm the world's best manager. That goes to my husband, Paul. He's a great manager. My best job is coming up with a vision and clearly communicating to people what that vision is. And there are going to be times where it's direct. There are going to be times where I'm just going to share it. I'm not going to think about how I'm saying it. You've got to hear my vision because it's at the top of my mind and I'm excited, and I'm not going to cushion it. I'm going to just put it out there. So that's, for me, that's a huge reframe.
And so if you're someone that has been called these things, or even like if you're a mom and you're seeing this in your children, I hope that this episode can really inspire you for how to reframe, how to shift maybe the names you've been called or the things that people are telling you of who you are and how you should be. How can you reframe that and see that as actually your greatest strength?
I love that. I love that.
We should do more episodes in person.
I think it's kind of good. I mean, so I'm personally lobbying for them to move to Minnesota. We have one spare room, and it's this office here. I mean, we've already got their bed here. I think that Marley and Wayne need to stay here. We are super excited because in the next couple of weeks, we have some huge announcements coming with Breadwinning Women, including, should we share the name of the awesome arsenal that's coming their way?
Yes!
I want you to go ahead and share it.
The Bootstrapping to Breadwinning Arsenal. All of the tools that we have used to take our business from scratching the surface to 6- and 7-figure businesses and beyond. And we want you to have the same freedom and flexibility and lifestyle that you want to make your biggest impact, to support and provide for your family and your community. And we're showing you all the tools that we have used to get there for ourselves so that we can continue to build another empire and community of breadwinning women.
Absolutely. And clearly it's talking about bootstrapping, which is something that I feel very strongly about. You guys may notice that I didn't necessarily even have the most cohesive brand. If you followed my other businesses, I haven't had a cohesive brand or an awesome website or any of those things, because I personally am very passionate about bootstrapping. I believe that you should, because you put your heart in your business and you serve your clients, you serve your customers, you serve everyone that you come into contact with, your business should absolutely serve you too. And if you're investing tons of money into your business and you're not seeing a return, I'm not cool with that. I believe that businesses should self-fund. And so that's why we're really passionate about the bootstrapping, but bootstrapping is not forever. Good news. To breadwinning. I love the idea of taking your business from bootstrapping to a place that's wildly profitable, exciting, full of potential, and continually growing.
So we can't wait to show that to you, and we will see you at the same time next week on breadwinningwomentv.com.
Bye, guys.